Hey, what's going on, guys? So this is going to be our first jerkbait review, or first review period, from the Zip Baits company, and it's going to be a continuation of our jerkbait series that we're doing. This is the Orbit 110. Just got one size, two different colors. There wasn't a lot of colors available when I bought it from Tackle Warehouse. It seems like they got a couple more available now. And it's an imported lure from Japan, so there's not a lot of literature that I can find on it that hasn't been translated. I guess it's all still in Japanese, and I don't speak or read Japanese. So we're gonna do our best here, and Zip Orbits 110. Let's check it out. All right, you guys. So the Zip Orbit, the Zip Baits Orbit, it has several different sizes. Normally I show you guys all the different sizes and the weights and the lengths and stuff like that. There's not a lot of English stuff written out there, and I can't find a lot of stuff on the internet that's in English. So just know that the Zip Orbit comes in like several different, I'm going to say 4 or 5 different styles. They have this 110. I believe they have the 110 in a deep diving version. They have an 80 in a deep diving version, which Tackle Warehouse actually has. And then I believe they also have it in a shallow diving version like this. And then I think they have like a 65, which is even smaller than all of them. But anyway, just know that there are several different ones, and be on the lookout for that if you guys like this bait but you want it in a smaller or bigger or shallower or deeper diving versions. They're out there. As for the Zip Baits Orbit 110, it has a length of 4 1/3 inches. Tackle Warehouse lists it as having a weight of 5/16 of an ounce. I'm not going to put that because I believe it's more than that. It feels more like a 1/2 ounce. I'm going to put it as having a 1/2 ounce. And it has a diving depth of 1 to 3 feet, and it is a suspending lure. As far as suspending is concerned, it is more of a slow, ultra slow sink to it, as opposed to some other baits that have a slow or an ultra slow float. This one has a little bit of a sink to it. Great action in the water. You remember last week when I was talking about the Daiwa DB Minnow having, I classify my baits as being either rip, where you're kind of just pulling them through the water and then pause, or baits that are more of a jerk where you're twitch, 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 pause, twitch, twitch. This bait, unlike the Daiwa, where I felt like it had a really good jerk action, but not so much of a good rolling action, so I didn't like it for ripping. This one will do both, and this one has a really good roll to it, so you're going to get that good flashing in the water when it rolls, and a good tail kick as well while it's coming through the water. But where I really like this, just like last week, is that jerk. It has a really good walk the dog action underwater. Last week's Daiwa DB Minnow was kind of more erratic, but excellent nevertheless. This one has a really good cadence to it, where it's going left to right, left to right. So it's boom, 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 just going all over the place, but you can tell where it's going to go. You know, it's predictable. It's left to right, sometimes flashing up towards the surface, but nevertheless, a very good darting, injured bait fish mimic in the water. So, and like I said, I don't know why they're putting this as having 5/16 of an ounce. In fact, when I bought this lure, I thought 5/16, man, that's awfully light for a lure that is over almost 4.5 inches. That's really light. And even when you're holding it in your hand and when you're casting it, it's definitely more than 5/16 of an ounce. So if I had a scale, I'd weigh it for you. When you actually, they say it's about 4 1/3 inches. I'll do my measurement here. Without the rings, it's actually just under 4.5 inches. Let's see. Without the rings, it is about 4 7/16 of an inch. And then if you add the 2 rings, it's 4 3/4 of an inch. And then if you add the bill, it's about 4 15/16, 4 7/8, just about 5 inches on this bait. So a little bit larger, being the 110 size, but no weight transfer system in it, and it is a silent bait. I'm not going to grab it too tight. These hooks are extremely sharp. While we're here, you can tell that it has 3 hooks on it as opposed to just 2. But it is a silent lure. It's a silent lure, and no weight transfer system in it. When I found out that it didn't have a weight transfer system, I was kind of skittish at first, thinking that it wasn't going to cast very well, but I went ahead and went for the overhead cast as opposed to the underhand roll cast, and it actually casts really, really well. Surprisingly, for not having a weight transfer system. Most baits, especially baits that are for casting, if you will, they will have a weight transfer system of some sort in them, and this doesn't have anything like that, but it actually casts very, very well. So just keep that in mind when you guys are buying this bait and when you're using it, that you can that it's going to be a good casting lure. Like I said, you've got that good darting action in the water. It has kind of that more of a bait fish profile to it. I mean, it is still a minnow bait, but you can tell that it gets kind of fatter here. I don't have a pointer in front of me. We do have a squad minnow here, which looks almost exactly like a pointer. But here it is up against the squad minnow. I think this is the 95 squad minnow. So, but you can tell it's kind of got that thicker body in the middle, where it's more of like a, I said bait fish before, but more of like a shad as opposed to a minnow. So this is kind of like a mixture of the two, kind of like the pointer, kind of like the squad minnow, where it's kind of like that shad profile as opposed to that minnow, but it is still has that length of the minnow. Here it is. I had a Stacy 90. I just wanted to show it, just so you guys can get the idea. You guys all know what a Stacy 90 looks like, so there's what it looks like up against a Stacy 90 to give you guys a size comparison, something to go off of here. When I bought this bait, there wasn't a lot of options. Tackle Warehouse only had two. They had, I think it was Flash Smelt, which is what this one is, and then they had Bluegill, and then they intermittently had Chartreuse Bone Orange. They now have a couple more colors. They say out, but I'm sure they're going to be getting them in. They have Wakasagi and Threadfin Shad and Baitfish patterns as well. So, so that'll be good for you guys that want a little bit more of a variety. So, as far as the Flash Smelt is concerned, you've got kind of a dark brown back, and it looks like it's almost torn down here, where you have this highly high shine foil finish here with an orange throat, orange belly, and a silver belly here in the middle and the tail. You can see it says Orbit 110 SP, and then it goes up into this more of an opaque from the foil to just an opaque finish up here. So kind of neat. Almost reminds me of the crack color, the MS crack in the Lucky Crafts. But anyway, there that is. This is Flash Smelt. And Bluegill. Bluegill has this dark olive back. You've got the dark vertical lines here and a holographic foil finish on here as well. So if you guys like that really high shine, and then this has got a pink throat on it, and then a shad dot or bluegill ear, and then a turquoise gill plate on it. So there's Bluegill. So there it is, you guys. Zip Baits Orbit. Just what you would expect from a Japanese high quality bait. Works very, 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 very well. Just as you would expect from a high dollar, high quality bait. Price point on Tackle Warehouse about 17 bucks. So check it out. Zip Baits Orbit. I know some of you guys have probably been using them for years. I just started using it and I actually really like it a lot. Really neat looking bait and very effective in the water. Check it out. And if you guys have any comments, leave them down below. I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. And if you guys like the video, hit the like button. I really appreciate that. And we'll talk to you next week. Thanks a lot.